Dawn Richards' lawsuit against Sean Diddy Combs has been dismissed in federal court, but the reason is not as simple as saying the judge rejected everything she alleged. The latest ruling turns on timing, jurisdiction, and the legal limits on how long a person has to bring certain claims. And that is why this decision matters now. The central question is this: did the court decide Dawn Richards' allegations were false, or did the court decide they were filed too late? According to the federal opinion and order, U.S. District Judge Katherine Polk Failla granted the defendant's motion to dismiss, closing the federal case while allowing one claim to potentially be renewed in state court. For verified entertainment updates without the rumors, subscribe to Startline Entertainment. Richard, known to many viewers from Danity, Kane, and Diddy Dirty Money, sued Combs in 2024. Her complaint alleged a years-long pattern of abuse, manipulation, hostile working conditions, and unpaid creative work connected to her time around Combs and his companies. The court's order says Richard worked with Combs from 2004 to 2012, first through Danity Kane and later through Diddy Dirty Money. The lawsuit included 18 claims, some centered on alleged emotional and physical abuse, others focused on employment-related claims. 2 involved copyright allegations connected to the song Deliver Me. But in the new ruling, the court dismissed 17 claims with prejudice, meaning they cannot be refiled in that federal case, and dismissed 1 claim without prejudice, meaning it can be brought again in the proper state court setting. That last distinction is the part many headlines can miss. A dismissal with prejudice is usually a legal ending for those claims in that court. A dismissal without prejudice leaves a door open. In Richard's case, the court said the New York City Victims of Gender-Motivated Violence Protection Law claim was a local law claim. And after the federal claims were dismissed, the federal court declined to keep jurisdiction over it. The judge said that claim could be renewed in an appropriate state court. So why did the bulk of the lawsuit get thrown out? The court's central explanation was the statute of limitations. In plain language, a statute of limitations is the legal deadline for bringing a claim. The judge wrote that many of Richard's claims were more than a decade old, and that the alleged conduct at issue ended in 2011 or 2012. Richard's legal team argued that her delay should be excused because she remained afraid of Combs and the power he had over her career and safety. The court acknowledged the seriousness of those allegations but was not persuaded that New York's tolling rules saved the expired claims. In other words, the judge found that the alleged fear and threats did not legally pause the clock long enough to make those older claims timely. That is a legal ruling about timing, not a jury verdict about truth. The court specifically said its decision existed separately from its view of the factual allegations, which it described as execrable, if true. That single word matters because it signals the judge was not minimizing the accusations. The judge was saying the court still had to apply the law as written. The copyright claims were dismissed for a different reason. Richard alleged issues around Deliver Me, but the court found that the copyright theory failed because the pleadings did not support a direct infringement claim against Combs. The court then said the related secondary infringement claim failed as well. People reported that Richard's attorney, Eric Feudali, said they were encouraged by the part of the ruling that allows the gender-motivated violence claim to be pursued in state court. And AP also reported that Richard's lawyer plans to refile that primary claim. Combs' representatives were not immediately reached for comment by People, while AP noted his representatives had previously denied the lawsuit's claims when it was filed. This decision also lands against the wider legal backdrop around Combs. Reuters reported that Richard filed the civil suit in September 2024 in the Southern District of New York, and Combs' attorney denied the allegations at that time. Separately, Combs was convicted in 2025 on 2 prostitution-related transportation counts and acquitted of the more serious racketeering and sex trafficking charges. He was later sentenced to 50 months in prison. Richard also testified during Combs' criminal trial. Reuters reported that she told jurors she witnessed Combs abusing Cassandra Cassie Ventura and that she feared speaking out, while the defense challenged parts of her account on cross-examination. That testimony is separate from this civil dismissal, but it explains why Richard's name has remained central in public coverage of Combs' legal cases. The Startline takeaway is that this ruling should not be framed as a complete public vindication of either side. It is a procedural legal win for Combs in federal court, especially because most of Richards' claims were dismissed with prejudice. But it is not a factual finding that Richards' allegations were untrue. The court repeatedly focused on deadlines, tolling doctrines, copyright pleading issues, and jurisdiction. What remains unresolved is whether Richard will actually refile the remaining gender-motivated violence claim in state court, and how that court would handle it if she does. For now, the federal case is closed. But one legal thread may still continue, and that is the part to watch next.